Welcome to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker. This podcast is dedicated for anyone out there who's dealing with mental health and fatherhood. You'll hear about my struggles, my defeats, my victories, my highs, my lows, my triumphs, my tribulations, and everything in between. I like to call this a collection of journal entries into my struggle and adapting to single fatherhood. Without further ado, let's take a look inside my journal, the Single Father Podcast. Welcome to the Single Father Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker. This podcast is dedicated for anyone out there who's dealing with mental health and fatherhood. You'll hear about my struggles, my defeats, my victories, my highs, my lows, my triumphs, my tribulations, and everything in between. I like to call this a collection of journal entries into my struggle and adapting to single fatherhood. Without further ado, let's take a look inside my journal, the Single Father Podcast. Not much of an intro here, guys. This episode is entitled Dear Pain, and it's more of a memoir, a manifesto to pain itself. Me just writing into my journal and speaking about the pain I've had in my life and how I've been able to take control of it. And so, it's a quick episode, but hey, it's a journal entry. So let's get right into it. Let's vent. So as all of you know, I'm on this journey, right? This journey to become a better person and discover myself and spread mental health awareness. But I'm going to tell you something selfish. It's really about me. I'm on this journey to discover a little bit more about me. I want to know who I am and where I belong in this world and things like that. Well, the other day I felt a lot of love in my heart, so I wanted to spread that love to a lot of people. So I I sent everybody on my Snapchat this really nice message. I can't even think of what I said word for word, but I sent everybody just a really nice message to uplift their day. And I thought, wow, I'm maybe this will redeem myself. Sending everyone that maybe I haven't connected with in a long time this really beautiful message. I really think it's going to help me. Truth is, I thought maybe I'll be liked again by everybody. So I sent everyone this message, and to my surprise, less than half responded to it. And some of those people even unadded me. They straight up unadded me after I sent them this nice message. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? Like, I go out of my way to send you this beautiful message, and like, this is kind of what I get back. It blew my mind in a sense. And someone told me, when you do good things and expect something in return, you've already lost. You should do good things with no expectations and feel joyed if you even do get a reward. I don't know, but it really got to me because, selfishly, I did expect something in return, like a thank you, but, well, I obviously didn't expect people to unadd me for it. Doing the right thing can even come with its own challenges. Not everyone is going to like you for it. But what matters most is if you like yourself. And on this journey I'm on, I guess the main thing that I really want to believe and get across to myself is that I like myself. it's hard, no, because I spoke on this podcast before about how I went to college and I was this really depressed guy and started fights and didn't always respect women how I should have, and treated my friends poorly, and I was just this dick, just a really depressed dick who pushed everyone away because I was fearful of anyone getting close. And it sucks because looking back, you're like, wow, look how petty you seem. And look how much that I've grown. And you can know that about yourself, right? Because you know yourself, I've grown. And sometimes you just want to shout from the rooftops, like, I've changed, look at me, love me, please, like, come back to me, I've changed, I'm a better person, look at who I am, please, ignore everything that's happened in the past because I am different. Truth is, it doesn't work like that. The truth is, it's really hard to get people to see that you were going through something back then. It's like a vacation, right? A common analogy, but if you're on a vacation, the whole vacation can be good, but it just takes that one bad thing that's happened to really tarnish the whole memory of the vacation. Sometimes, in some people, I was the bad memory in the vacation that was Kendall. And that sucks, I know what I was going through, but other people don't. And if you try to tell them, they're like, yeah, well, still, that bad memory though. It's like those TikTok videos. It was the bad memory for me. It was the asshole-nish for me. Sometimes it can really break my heart just because I guess a narcissist says I'm a good person and I'm worthy of love. And sometimes I feel like that. I guess one of my biggest fears is that I've messed up my young adult life so much that I'm just going to end up alone. And I will think to myself, how did I get here? How did I get to this place where so many people just dislike you and only a handful of people really know you? Some would say that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have way more haters than the people who love you. But sometimes I feel like haters are the people who just hate on you for what you have or something insignificant. But for me, my haters are the people who I was close with, the people who I cared for, the people who got to know me and said, you're not for me. Sometimes I feel like those are my haters. The people who take one look at you and see right through you and see that you're not who you claim to be. Not saying that I'm fake or was fake by any means, but I don't know. And I guess in college I was always pretending to be something that I wasn't. And you want to talk to someone and just say, you have no idea how alone, afraid, scared, hurt I was. You have no idea that every day that I was in college, I had massive panic attacks. You have no idea that almost every day during those panic attacks, it felt literally like every time I was dying. And it happened so often that I was afraid to go to sleep. And I cried because in the middle of the night, I knew that I'd wake up and feel like I'm on the verge of death. You have no idea that how much money and how much debt I'm in from every heart doctor that I went to because I was certain something was wrong with my heart. And it took a long time for me to get through my head that it was just anxiety. And you have no idea how many relationships I pushed away because I was scared to tell them that I was on antidepressants. You have no idea how many women that I was mean to because I wasn't sure if I could perform during sex because those antidepressants, it makes your dick soft. And instead of telling people the truth, I just wanted to push people away and be mean. You know, it's interesting with my life. Everybody I meet, if I were to tell them kind of what happened with my family and things like that, they think it's a made-for-TV script. I fear that people would take one look at my life and be uninterested in what I have to offer. You have no idea how often that I've felt that I don't have much value to bring as a person. The truth is, I'm doing this podcast for a lot of different reasons. But the main one is so all of you can know me. This is my journal, right? I want you to know me. I want you to know that there's more to me than just the bad things that you've heard, the rumors that you've shared, or maybe the person that you experienced. I want you to know that when I was in high school, I went to several different schools because my parents, number one, didn't really know how to raise me, and when they were going through the divorce, they moved me around all the time. I went to one school my freshman year, one school my sophomore year, one school my junior year. In my junior year, I was hanging around some friends, and I smoked weed for the very first time. We came back to campus, and we were caught. We all smelled like weed. And all of those friends blamed the weed on me. Why? Well, because they told me to hold the weed. Wasn't true, but I got expelled. Well, it was a provisional expulsion. It wouldn't be on my record if I went to a behavior school. So I went to a behavior school for the remainder of my junior year. And then all through summer and winter, I believe. And then my senior year, I did online high school until things with my parents reached an all-time low, and they CPS had to get called. So Child Protective Services took me away. And I was 17, so they said, you can live with your grandma, and she can adopt you. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So I went and lived with my grandma, and then she made me finish school at a regular high school. So altogether, about 5 different places. I want you to know that I was born in Michigan. And then we lived in New York. Then Arizona. Then Washington State. Did middle school in Nebraska. Then high school and college in Nevada. I want you to know that I've never had stability in my life. I want you to know that I haven't seen my mother and my siblings in, I think, about 9 years. I want you to know that I don't think I have very... I want you to know that I'm disappointed with my parents. I want you to know that I haven't felt anything so traumatizing than when me and my child's mother went through a separation ourselves. I want you to know that my biggest regret in life is that my child can't have her parents together. I want you to know that even in my happiest moments, sometimes I'm just sad for no reason. Because I'm alone. I'm not sure how to fix that. But I also want you to know other sides of me as well. I want you to know that one of my biggest passions in life is climate change. I want you to know that my favorite thing that I am is a father. I want you to know that my dad is white, my mom is black, and my siblings are mixed, and so is my child, so I never saw race growing up. And when I moved to Nevada, that's all everything was about, was race, and it really shocked me. Everyone's saying hella. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, it means a lot. And I'm like, why? Why? I don't get it. I want you to know in high school, I didn't really have a good time. I had someone tell me, hey, catch the fade means hang out. So go up to that guy and tell him you want to catch the fade with us. And I said, hey man, you want to catch the fade? He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, man, you want to catch the fade? We're about to leave right now. I want you to know that that guy that I said that to whooped my ass. Obviously, for you that don't know, catch the fade means, do you want to fight? I want you to know that when I got to Nevada, I felt like I was this innocent, really nice kid. And I felt like to adapt, and make everyone like me in Vegas, I tried to be something different until I was something different. But that's something different that wasn't necessarily something that I liked. I want you to know that every time I feel like I'm being myself, you're kind of sheltered by social media. How many likes do I have? How many followers do I have? How many people unadd me? How many people add me? How many people like me? I also want you to know that my best friend in life is probably my Nana. I talk to my Nana pretty much every day. I want you to know that something that I really hold value in my life is unconditional love. When you're family, I feel like a family loves you with unconditional love. My family specifically, it doesn't have that philosophy, but it's a philosophy that I'm going to pass on to my daughter, and hopefully another family that I'll have with myself. Unconditional love. I don't need anything for you to love me. I just love you. I want you to know that one of my biggest passions in life is Superman. Or my biggest, I guess, what do you call those things? Something about chocolate. My biggest, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, the secret thing that I like most is Superman. I love Superman. I can tell you anything about Superman. I have a Superman toaster in my house that will be quite debatable when my wife eventually tells me to get rid of it. I want you to know that I have a Superman toaster in my house that prints the Superman symbol on my toast in the morning, and it's the best thing about my morning when I drink my coffee. I want you to know that probably one of my favorite shows is The Vampire Diaries. I've watched it several times, and I've also watched the originals, and I'm not a really big fan of Legacies. I want you to know that not my spirit animal, but in another life, I feel like I was meant to be an anime character. And if it was acceptable, I would skate all the time and, I don't know, do weird things, because I'm weird. I want you to know that as much as I support the Detroit Lions, I think they suck. And that's okay. I want you to know that I have a lot of passions in life. I read a lot of self-help books because it makes me feel better. I want you to know that I take really great pride in health, the gym, and what I eat, because it brings my anxiety down. I want you to know that I really only wanted one tattoo, but I keep getting them for some reason. And so what if I steal someone else's design? If it looks cool, I'll fuck it. I love it. I want you to know that I wish I was TikTok famous. Because some of these people who have a ton of money just off dance videos is quite shocking. No judgment. Well, a little bit, but I want you to know that my favorite food is chicken Alfredo. But one of my favorite food passions is probably carne asada fries. I want you to know me. I'm going to school for psychology, and I've been taking my time because having a kid and being depressed and single dad and all the other adult things I have in my life is quite hard. I want you to know that I don't really want to know what I want to do with a career other than maybe real estate, because truthfully, I don't really find that much interest in psychology. I just did it because my family did, and I don't really know what else to do. I want you to know that I'm sorry. For anyone out there that I've hurt, I want you to know that I was really sad. And sometimes I'm still sad. But this time, I'm better. All I want you to do is know me. And in this podcast, I really feel like I got to know a little bit more about myself. I want you to know that I struggle with mental health. And I want you to know that another reason I'm doing this podcast is to spread mental health awareness. And make sure that anyone out there that feels an inkling of how I felt knows that they're not alone. Because that's how I felt. Really, really alone. And no one wants to feel like that. I want you to know that I do counseling every Monday. I want you to know that I'm taking antidepressants right now. And I want you to know that I feel better saying all this. Because at least when you hear my name, you can listen to this and actually know me. And I know that this whole thing seems like just an audio version of me trying to convince you of that, but I don't know if it's narcissistic as it is helpful. Just to say in the mirror every day things that I love about myself. Tell myself that I'm confident, that I'm worthy of love. The best quote that I've heard in my life is the only thing worth doing is what we do for others. And I hope that somehow, some way, I resonated with you. I hate being in pain. I hate feeling anxiety. I hate having panic attacks. I hate that other people can go about their day and smoke weed and not feel anxious, and I hate that I don't feel normal. And I wish to God that I did. But most of all, I hate that I tried to be anything other than just myself. Because I am happy with who I am. I don't need anyone's approval. I stopped checking how many likes I get. I stopped checking how many followers I have. I'd stopped checking who replies back and who doesn't. I let things come as they be. And I let the universe take over. I manifest who I am. I'm proud of who I am. And I really feel like I've turned into the man that I've manifested. I'm strong. And I can do anything, and I will find love. And I just hope that to those of people that I've hurt, I hope I can heal you with my words. So, dear pain, I want you to know that your time controlling my life is coming to an end. I want you to know that I'm taking back control of my life, who I am, my decisions, my passions, my goals, my aspirations, my feelings, my emotions, my happiness. I'm taking control. Dear pain, you are no longer welcome in my life. and I may feel a shadow of your existence, but you will never be just my existence. So, dear pain, goodbye. Hey, thank you so much for listening to my journal entry and just listening to me vent, really. Sometimes it's nice to get those things off your chest. You know, I had a week this week where I felt really inspired and felt really, well, in lack of better words, beautiful. I was in a beautiful mood, beautiful spirit, beautiful energy. And, one little thing kind of just threw me off guard a little bit, and want to talk about it. I want to talk about, hey, a lot of you out there, I feel like you don't really know me. So let me give you the opportunity to hear a little bit about me. And, sometimes it's nice to just vent, and that's what this is about. It's a journal. And I really wanted people just to hear my side of who I am. So, thank you so much for listening. If you stuck around towards the end, you're the best. Follow me on, or follow our Instagram. More great things are coming soon. And remember that we stand together, we vent together as a pack. VentPack.